Welcome to Reckless Paradise, everyone. I am your host, Marissa, and I'm here with my co host, Dystro. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Wow, happy Sunday, everybody. I don't know about y'all, but this weekend flew by unusually fast.
I mean, yep, I could say that too.
With that being said, I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I had a really good weekend, surprisingly.
I worked,
I
so
mean, I did too, but
I mean, yeah, but
yeah, but
I, but I had worked like uh, for the 4 days that I worked this week. I worked like almost like 21 hours.
hey, we got 22. I one upped you. Ooh,
And of course, you had to press this right, the damn
I
episode.
win.
Oh, I won.
Anyways, yeah, my weekend's been really, really good. Surprisingly, kind of a kick up from pretty much how this whole month has treated me. So it felt good to have a really good weekend. My sisters were here today, and we had a good time. Um, so, all right, thank you all for listening to this episode. We hope you enjoy. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. We are back with Random Ranking Def Leppard Edition. This will be our first episode of Def Leppard Edition Random Ranking since Halloween.
For the trick or treat.
Man. So this is episode 5 of Def Leppard Edition. If you guys recall, the last time we did a Def Leppard Edition episode, we did the whole trick or treat special where I was like, either trick or treat. And I think you were the one that had to give me the curveball song for the list because I had to give you one for the ACDC list that month.
Yeah. Yep. That was a random ass curveball that I gave you though.
Yeah, that was honestly, and I mean, the one I gave you was pretty random, kinda, sorta. Totally didn't think about that song like the first time I thought of the episode. Oh my goodness. Okay, so as usual, I will go ahead and name off the 10 songs that are up for grabs in case those of you ended up missing the last episode for Thursday, where I rattled off the songs that we have. So this is the order they came in on the randomizer website. Starting at number 1, of course, Don't Shoot Shotgun. Number 2, Two Steps Behind the String acoustic version. Number 3, Let's Get Rocked. Number 4, Ride Into the Sun. Number 5, Switch 625, but it's the Jurassic Symphony's version. Number 6, Desert Song. Number 7, Heaven Is. Number 8, Paper Sun. Number 9, Another Hit and Run. And wrapping up the list at number 10, kind of a curveball here, Work It Out from Slang. I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that either because it's the only slang song that I kind of liked, but
Me too.
then had to had to go back and listen to majority of these because I did not really remember any of them hardly. Uh, but out of the 10 songs that we have, like I knew like Paper Sun and Let's Get Rocked. I had to go back listen to the other 8 by myself.
Dedication, dedication.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. But it was actually pretty good to go re-listen to them again by myself because I got to individually like listen to each like era of Def Leppard in each different years too, which was kind of interesting to be honest with you. Uh, but that being said, I I went through each song and I ranked it as I went. So like I went from like Don't Shoot Shotgun all the way to Work It Out.
That's smart. That is smart. For
So
me, I didn't have to go back and listen to any of these.
oh,
I
good for
mean,
you.
for me, like when I do the Def Leppard random ranking episodes, it's like I really don't have to go back. It's like all these songs are still fresh in my head. I still hear them on my fucking playlist daily. Sometimes I hear certain songs on the radio. Surprisingly, none of these songs I hear on the radio, except for "Let's Get Rocked." Sometimes, if I'm lucky. Um, but enough
Me too.
rambling. So to break this down for you guys, a good chunk of these tracks come from Retroactive, which is actually not a studio album, but a compilation album that's filled with
Mhm.
B-side tracks and rare tracks that were not released on the previous albums or were released on the single versions of some of the tracks. Like, for example, um, I think Two Steps Behind is a single. No, it was like a B-side for a single from Adrenalize.
Yeah,
And then same thing with
Desert Song, right?
Desert Song. Yeah, I believe. Actually, no, Desert Song. I think was just a rare track. Ride into the Sun.
Mm.
Uh, Originally was done on the Def Leppard EP, but they ended up redoing it again on the Hysteria album for one of the singles as a B-side, and then they ended up putting it on Retroactive as another version. There is a slight difference between the Hysteria version and the Retroactive version. I did not specify which one we were going to do, because I just figured, fuck it, we'll just do it as whichever version you view. Now, which version did you hear?
Um,
Was it Retroactive?
yes.
Okay. So I guess we'll just base it off of that one. I do remember that one very clearly. Same thing with the Hysteria one. I don't really remember the Def Leppard EP version very well. I remember it's very different.
Hmm.
Because of course it came out back in the late 70s when they first started. Um, so just wanted to clear the air on that. A good chunk of these songs are from Retroactive, which I am very happy about. Finally, that album's going to get some spotlight here.
Hmm.
So let's crack into it at number 10. So, number 10, what do you have?
I put Work It Out. I know you're probably gonna
I
hate
went
me.
from a smile to a frown.
I know you. I knew you're gonna hate me for that, but hear me out, okay? When I
Let me see.
let me. I'll let you say your number 10 too, but I'm gonna try to defend myself on Work It
Go
Out.
defend yourself.
Go defend yourself. Um. So when we listened to Slang the first time around,
Mhm.
uh, I think we liked 5 tracks off of that. Am I correct?
Sounds right. Sounds about right when we did it together the first time.
And then when we listened to it the second time individually, I think I don't know. I think like Work It Out kind of just like wasn't on that 5 anymore for me.
It kind of dropped off for you.
Yeah. I
That's
did
rare too, because usually when we re-listen to albums, usually we don't like
drop
dislike a song.
anything.
Like
Yeah.
we usually don't go from liking a song to disliking it. It's super rare when that happens. Damn.
I think it was just because like nothing re, like nothing replaced it by any chance, by any means. It was just the 4 songs that I liked that they stayed the same. Just Work It Out. It's just like I don't know. It just didn't, I guess, click. The I guess the third time when I listened to the song, that's crazy to say. Um, but I don't know. It's just like I just didn't really. I
You weren't
guess
feeling it.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't grasping onto it at that point.
Firmly grasp it.
Firmly grasp.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Hmm.
So my number 10 is actually Ride into the Sun. Just because, yes, I do remember what the song sounds like. For me, it's like it's kind of your situation. Well, it's not where I've never liked it. It's just I'm not crazy for it.
Right.
Um, it's not a bad song. It's just not on my replay list. It's kind of cheesy. It's very cheesy.
Hmm.
It's basically just about fucking getting on a fucking motorcycle and all that crap. Like
Vroom
trying to be a
vroom,
badass.
bitch.
I can't see Joe trying to be a badass like that.
I can see Tom
Maybe
Petty being like that though.
maybe I was gonna say maybe Phil.
I mean, Phil would be like the coolest dude out of the fucking group anyway. So.
Dude, I love Phil Collins. Bless his soul. But yeah, Ride into the Sun, all three versions have their own style, in my opinion. I think the two that are similar, like I said before, are the retroactive and hysteria versions. The original from the Def Leppard EP is completely different from those two. And it's
Hmm.
pretty cool, to be honest, to see how far they've come with that song. They've done that song over 3 different times. That's pretty cool. Hats off to that. It's not often where you see a band cover their own song a couple times. on like 3 different albums. It's kind of
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Ah, number 9. I went with the only high and dry track on this list titled Another Hit and Run.
You're joking, right?
No,
Okay.
there's a reason why. There is
Uh,
a reason why.
let me say, I have that as my number 9 as well.
Good. For me, overplayed. I overplayed this song to death when I was a kid. I absolutely, like I said before, I say this again, I was a huge Def Leppard fan when I was a kid. And I remember I used to really prefer the high and dry stuff and the Pyromania stuff a lot. And this song was always overplayed for me. I played it so much to the point where I don't really care to hear it anymore. I will say this though, High and Dry, a top tier album. Absolutely beautiful from head to toe, from start to finish. It definitely put Def Leppard on the map from that point.
Hmm. I would say that. I think for me, with Another Hit and Run, I think it's just because I just don't hear it at all, hardly. Uh, but you can definitely tell by, like, the sound at the time. It's like, they're starting to get their toes, their flippy floppies on,
God damn
um
it.
singer, no, okay. But they're starting to get recognition off of that album, because it has, like, Bring On the Heartbreak, and then going into, like, Switch 625 and stuff, which is another pretty good transition. Uh, but it's like, it doesn't get better until, like, like Pyromania and Hysteria. And their sound at that time is like, it's still like, they're still trying to find their own sound at the time. But it was just like one of those songs I'm like, okay, it's the only high and dry track, which that's a rarity. Um, I was just like, okay, I don't want to be, too harsh on it because it's the only song. But I'm like, okay, like, I gotta base it on, like, replay value and all that stuff too. So
It's like these other 8 songs have more replay value than this one.
right. But I mean, there's some that I will probably replay over more than others, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. So sorry, high and dry.
But definitely a good album, honestly. It's top tier.
Oh,
It's
oh,
so
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
I would have said Switch 625 is from High and Dry, but we're not doing the High and Dry version. We're doing
You do
the
the
Drastic Symphonies
Symphony's
version.
version,
So
yeah.
there is a twist. Just disclaimer for people who try to call me out. All right, number 8. What do you have?
So I put the Switch 65 Drastic Symphony's version here.
Okay, I put Work It Out.
Work it.
Well, for me, with Work It Out, I actually really like this song. I remember hearing it somewhere in my childhood. It might have been on a Def Leppard documentary that I was watching when I was a kid. Yes, I was a music nerd even as a kid, ladies and gentlemen. Um, I heard the song in the documentary and I had to know what it was, and I looked it up. I found it somehow, and it was Work It Out from Slang. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is the album that the documentary was kind of bringing down a little bit because Slang was not what everybody wanted to hear. I
Mhm.
actually like this song. It's a little more mellow and stripped down than what we're used to. Kind of sounds like the 90s. You could tell that Def Leppard was trying to sound like a 90s group. So I will applaud them for that. It's not a bad thing to try and switch things up sometimes. Sometimes it works out in your favor, sometimes it don't. And for me, I've listened to Slang twice. Second time through, I actually liked it. So that's a
Yeah,
surprise.
yeah. Like, when I listened to it the second time too, you're like, really?
It's
Like,
really
it's like, what?
not bad. It's
It's not.
really good. You gotta
I
really open your mind when you go
I
into it.
I think we were just kind of, like, too harsh
Stubborn.
on it. We were stubborn, yes, but I think we were just too harsh on it because it was just like, it just didn't sound like, old school Def Leppard that we
We were
were
so used to
accustomed
the
to.
old school stuff at that
Yeah.
point. It's like we were kind of nervous going into Slang. We kind of let the comments of other people get to us. We kind of listened to them too much. You need to just go into these albums with an open mind. Same goes
Mhm.
for X, by the way, which is more of the pop side of Def
Hmm.
Leppard, you need to go into it as an open mind. It is really, really good.
Hmm.
So Work It Out takes my 8 spot just because it does have more replay value, and I really, really like this song. Um, so Jurassic Symphony's Switch 625, the instrumental. What do you have to say?
I think for me, I think I would prefer the high and dry version of Switch
Ah, the
65
original.
because it's like it's bring on the heartbreak, and then it goes right into it, which I thought it's still like a really good transition. Um, but it's like with all the violins and all that stuff, it's like it kind of like I guess takes me out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Because like with high and dry, it's like it's like it feels more raw, it feels more real. Um, but with like the Drastic Symphony's version, it's just like okay, like it sounds like more, I guess not upbeat, but it sounds more modern, which I know they're going for, but I rather have like the raw sound of like the 80s and stuff. Well, I guess 70s, 80s, whatever. Um, more than like like more they can fine tune it and make it sound more crisp and all that stuff. But I've always preferred the high and dry version over the Drastic Symphony's version. That's just me though.
yeah.
Um, I'm not knocking on the song or anything. It's just like that's just me. So
Base. I can see your reasoning, and it's kind of funny because moving on to number 7, that's my number 7. So we're kind of on the same wavelength there. But what's
yeah,
yours?
mine was don't shoot shotgun.
Oh, well, I'm biting the bullet there.
No pun intended.
So, gonna quickly go over Switch 625. I really loved Jurassic Symphonies with my whole being. I loved it so much. I went on a damn hunt for that album in 2 different towns. My town didn't have this
Yep, I
album on
remember that.
CD. I
I
ended up
remember that.
traveling like a couple days later, an hour away, to another town where I usually go shopping sometimes, and I found it on CD. There was one copy left, and I picked that thing up, and I was so happy. I paid $12 for it. I was so happy. I'm like, the hunt is over. I have found thy item. Um, so I love Jurassic Symphonies. I had to put this at number 7. I honestly love this version with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Like I think it
Mhm.
adds more of a dramatic effect to Switch 625. And Switch 625 was kick ass on its own in High and Dry. It was kick ass because it was the first instrumental we would ever hear from Def Leppard, but it wouldn't be the last. Euphoria would come in with Disintegrate, which literally features 2 different guitarists compared to the High and Dry stuff. Because you got to remember, with High and Dry, Phil wasn't in the group, but Steve was still alive. But we had
Yeah.
Pete Willis at this time. So with Switch 625, you're hearing the guitar work of Steve Clark, and Pete Willis.
Mhm.
Versus with Disintegrate, you're hearing the guitar work of 2 different, completely different guitarists, Phil Collin and Vivian Campo, who came in to replace Steve once he had passed.
Mhm.
So I had to put this at number 7. I honestly love this version. Not knocking down the original, of course. Uh,
Mhm.
this version's great. So, Don't Shoot Shotgun. What do you have to say? The Lone Wolf from Hysteria.
Which is kind of crazy to say, to be honest with you. I thought we would have like a little bit more Syria this time around, to be honest with you. But you know what? We're gonna just go in blind. Um, this was the first one I listened to first, obviously, but I was like, okay, I had to be not biased, but I didn't want to be unbiased. I had just went with my true feelings on this. I think it was just because like I guess I didn't really I let me just be clear here. Hysteria as itself, like it's a really good album. It is a really good album. There were some songs I was like, okay, I wasn't really, keen for, and this was one of them, but it's not super low. It's like almost right in the middle. It's almost right in the middle. It's not a bad song, but it's not a good song. But at the time, uh, I thought it was pretty. I was trying to find the meaning for it or something, and then I guess I just didn't really, I guess, connect with it. Um, but then also it's like I don't hear it on the radio ever,
I
whereas
wish.
you
I
probably do.
so wish I did, but I do hear it on my playlist quite a bit.
So yeah, that's probably just my reasoning for it.
I'll get to mine when I get to it.
Mhm.
Number 6. What you got?
I did two steps behind here.
Uh, Now that hurts. That actually hurts. Oh man. I did Desert Song,
That's a little bit
which I
higher
mean
on mine.
we both picked retroactive songs for number 6, so I guess that works, but man, that actually hurt. That's probably like the worst hitting emotion that I have felt all month. I'm not even being dramatic. Like, oh my god.
Hey, I'd rather be real and authentic.
I am being real and authentic.
Voice crack though. I be real and authentic. I
Okay.
rather be honest with people. I'd rather be honest. Being like, oh well, yeah, like I chose this one to like be this one's like no. I'd rather be honest
Right.
and have my true opinions on pen and paper.
So, what do you have to say about Two Steps Behind? Now, disclaimer, people: if you have listened to Retroactive, you will notice there are two versions of this song. There is
Mhm.
one that's kind of more of a rock sounding song, and then there's this
Mhm.
one. This one takes the cake. I love this one. But what do you have to say about it?
I think it's just because it is the acoustic version and the string version. Um, I think it's just a little bit more mellow. But I'm
More of like a
thinking,
ballad.
yeah, but isn't the other one like kind of like more like not like in your face, but kind of like more
It's
like
still mellow, but like it's like kind of different. Like I'm not used to it. It's like this song has to kind of be on acoustic.
yeah. Plus, this was like what around like
93.
the Adrenalize era,
Yeah, a year after Adrenalize had come out, they had released Retroactive.
which is kind of crazy to be honest with you. Um,
Absolutely.
I wish it should have probably been on Adrenalize, but that's for another
I
time.
will stand to the test of time and I will forever agree with that statement. I will defend this song to the day I die. It should have been on Adrenalize. Hands down.
Like,
Let's continue.
hands down. Okay. Um, it's just I think it's just because since it was kind of mellow, like, and I am all for mellow songs. It's just like I was not really expecting much, but I wasn't really expecting less of it. It's like I would have to be like in the right mindset and mood for it, to be honest with you. Um, I'm not saying like acoustic version of Two Steps Behind is gonna be like like I'm not gonna be like skip. I'm just gonna be like I listened to it and I actually like felt like I guess I felt something from it. I kind of got chills from it too, which is rare. Uh, but it's not like I said, it's not bad, but it's not like whatever.
Over the
Uh,
top.
it's not over the top. Yes. It's like right in the middle, that bass line, like right there. If I could replace it with something, it would probably be like higher up. But this is just when I was in the moment. I was writing my notes down and all that stuff, and I was just okay. That's where it is. So yeah,
Pretty solid.
that's just me though.
So with Desert Song, obviously this is I think opening track of Retroactive, which that is probably hands down one of my favorite album openers of all time. It is super badass. And it's also a transition at the end. It transitions into Fractured Love,
Hmm.
another good song. So Desert Song is just really like spooky. It gives off a spooky vibe to me. It's supposed to be a tribute to another famous rock artist at that time who had been diagnosed with cancer or something like that. Who literally had very little life left to live at that time. He was kind of, I don't know, maybe it wasn't cancer. I don't remember, but it was some sort of like rapidly deteriorating disease. Um, and that song is basically just trying to describe that, and it's really creepy. It's very, very creepy, but oh man, the guitar is just kick ass on that song.
Hmm.
I had to put it at number 6, like for that reason. It's like, my lord, that is really fucking good. And
So,
I don't hear it a lot,
oh
and it's a
yeah,
crime.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's me too. Like I don't hear it hardly at
But I'm
all.
still putting it at number 6 because I remember it, and man, it's kick ass. It's so good.
The song itself, it's about Mick Ronson, who at the time was dying of cancer.
Yes, that's who it was. I was trying to think of the name. I knew the last name was Ronson.
Yeah. Um, it's like I love like when Def Leppard does that, or any band does that for any matter, because like like it could be something about like totally different, like way outfield, but it could be something like this until like you look it up and like, oh, okay, so it is about that person or it's about this thing, but it's like you just never know until you look it up, which I kind of like, and it like makes you think about it for a bit.
It kind of makes you want to re-listen to the song if you hadn't done so already. It's like
Right,
it kind of just
right,
makes you want to go back because it's like now that you know the meaning, it's like the song means something completely different.
right.
Which I mean, for example, if you recall when we did the Flick of the Switch breakdown, when you told me the meaning behind Bedlam and Belgium, I'm like,
Hmm.
oh my god.
Hmm. Hmm. Man.
Man is right. Like, there's so many incidents where that's happened where you told me the meaning of a song when we did a breakdown episode,
Hmm.
and it's like it changes everything for me. It changes the whole thought process on that song for me. It changes all my feelings towards it. It just makes me want to go back and re-listen to it and think about that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, hands down, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Cracking into our top 5 at number 5, I put Don't Shoot Shotgun.
I put right into the sun here.
Ooh, okay, okay, I see you. I'm gonna run through Don't Shoot Shotgun real quick, our obvious lone hero from Hysteria. I had to put this one in my top 5 just because I have heard this song a lot and I've heard it a lot in my childhood. It's actually a childhood favorite of mine. I never hear anybody talk about this song though. Like any Def Leppard fan, they don't really talk about this song for some reason. And it's so good. Like it's really like kick ass, like makes you want to go. Like
Mm.
it's just good. I love it. Like there's really not much left to say about that. It just fits the Hysteria vibe of that album completely. Um, it's a good song for the time period it came out. I could definitely say that. You
Oh,
could take that
yeah.
song in so many ways too. Like I'm not even gonna try to explain any of them because it's not appropriate for this show. And we would get probably taken down.
Banned. We would get
Banned. You're banned. You're fucking
you're
banned.
you're you're banned. Goodbye.
ban the channel.
I'm gonna cut the stream off.
I'm gonna cut the recording.
Oh no, don't do that. I think I mean your points are very valid on when you were talking about your song. Um, for me with mine, I think it's because retroactive doesn't get mentioned a lot, which is sad. Um, and it's funny that we had like what, 3 songs from retroactive,
Yeah, we had 3 this time.
which is like that is crazy to think about. Um, we're getting more retroactive love on this show than retroactive did in real life. Um, it's like I think it's funny that I put Two Step Behind and then I put Right Into the Sunlight right next to each other. It's kind of ironic. Um, I don't know. It's just like I think I might have to go listen to retroactive by myself one day.
I think yeah, because I think we ran through it together.
I think we, well.
We
I think we did.
we did
Yes.
because I
Yeah.
remember like showing you like
Yeah.
after a Def Leppard album one. I'm like, let's go run through this real quick, and we did, and it wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad
So
at all.
right into the sun. I mean, like I put it really low on my list, but I can see why you would put it higher because it is kind of kick ass if you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's cheesy for me, but it's like kind of kick ass at the same time.
hmm Um, like some of these songs I'm probably gonna have like emotional, maybe not physical, but like emotional connection to. Only because like I could see like my friend who had passed away several years ago.
Hmm.
I could see him like playing some of these songs like by guitar and stuff, and probably singing them at the time. Um, but it that thought process is that I'm like, okay, like, well, what would he do? you know. um but I think just that emotional value like made it higher up on my list for me, if that makes sense. It's because you gotta have some emotional attachment to these songs sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, the next one on my list is probably higher. It's sentimental value, sort of.
So, speaking of next one, all right, number 4, I put Let's Get Rocked.
I put Heaven Is here.
Okay, so at least it's in the top 5. So, Let's Get Rocked. I mean, come on. Come on. That is probably one of Def Leppard's biggest songs to date. Obviously, the biggest song from Adrenalize at this point. I love the music video. Every time I see the music video, I get so freaking hype. Um, it's a really good fucking song, honestly. It's probably one of my most played Def Leppard songs to date. One of my most heard Def Leppard songs to date, actually, if I really think about it hard enough, because childhood me loved Adrenalize, still do to this day. And I remember playing that album over and over as a kid on my old radio in our living room.
Right.
God, those were the days. Those were the days, my friend. Ugh, there's nothing like getting a CD when you're like 8, 9 years old. You don't think anything of it. And then when you're an adult, you look back, it's like, oh, I was a music fanatic even back then. And it got worse. Now I'm full blown infected with the case of the music obsession.
Yeah, it's highly contagious.
Oh yes, it's very, very contagious. Stand back. um,
Stand back.
but yeah, Let's Get Rocked. It's self-explanatory. It's so fucking good. You cannot not put it in the top 5.
Yeah. It's funny that yesterday uh there was a ECDC and Def Leppard tribute band. Like two
Mm.
like they're separate tribute bands, but they were doing like, ACDC and Def Leppard. What was it? I think like Let's Get Rocked was on there. Photograph, obviously.
Mhm.
There was like a
Pour some
lot of like
sugar on me.
yeah, pour some sugar on me, obviously. And then like for the ACDC one it was like, Highway to Hell, Back in Black, I don't even know if they did any Bon Scott stuff. It's for more like Brian Johnson stuff, I'm thinking. Uh but I was like, oh, okay, like, like they have like, they have tribute bands for like, stuff that we grew up with and our parents grew up with.
It's
Like that's
crazy.
kind of fucking
Like
crazy,
pretty soon we're gonna get a fucking Blink tribute band if there ain't already one out there.
Oh god, don't even get me started.
Nobody can replicate Tom.
Oh
Just
well,
gonna
no,
put that out there.
nobody can replicate Mark and Travis.
Travis. Um.
Travis.
So Heaven Is. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. We both picked an Adrenalize song for that.
Mhm,
Heaven Is the second track on the album, if I'm correct. That music video is good too.
mhm.
That song is really good.
That's why I had to put it up high.
That
Um,
song gives a girl so much confidence. I swear. That's why it's like kind of higher on my list.
right. Um, I don't know. It's just like I think like with Adrenalize at the time, this is like after Steve Clark had passed.
Rest in
and
peace.
and I was kind of shocked that I think, didn't we have White Lightning on an album
Yes, yes,
one?
we did.
Um, it's like, so it's like with that, and then you have, Heaven Is and stuff. I'm thinking like I think we said that on the adrenal, like, didn't we do a breakdown?
We did back in July. I actually had to
Um,
record that several times.
yeah. So with that being said, it's like I think when we broke it down, it was just paying tribute to Steve, but also like dealing with the sub turmoil within like the group itself, trying to like get over his death with divorces and family trauma and all that stuff. So it's like they're trying to make themselves kind of like whole again and try to pr- pick up the pieces, so to speak. And I think Heaven Is, it's like kind of like one of those, like, I don't know how to put it. It's kind of like a multi-layered cake. Let's say that, food related, whatever. Um, but it's like, like each song gets better and better and better and better as time goes on throughout the whole album. Um, and I had to put it high. I had to, because it's like I feel like I would be doing this band a disservice if I didn't put it high. um, but I mean, like, with that being said, like, it's really good. When I listened to it, like, I was trying to like I try to like turn my brain off, and I was just closing my eyes for a second, and I was like, oh shit, like, I was like, oh shit. You could just feel the presence of Steve in the room.
You really can. You really can. So, final three. Here we go. Number three. I put Heaven Is.
I put Desert Song.
Wow. Holy shit. That is a huge jump. That is actually good. Golf clap. So Heaven Is kind of just basically summed it up for you right there. I love the song. It's just makes you feel good if you're listening as like a girl, it just makes you feel good. Like it gives you confidence, gives you that confidence boost. I mean, come on, Jolie, like, hit me up.
It's
No.
like the that Lonely Island song that we always reference, like where he sniffs the cocaine. He's like, "Everybody, great day."
Okay. Yeah,
So
I
that's
mean,
like
I guess we could put it that way, but
that's
a
what like
little toned down.
so I could just see Joe Elliott fucking doing that. Just be like,
Oh, now you're ruining the episode. Oh.
"Hey, I always have to ruin something, okay?"
Thanks, Patrick. um,
Welcome.
but yeah, I love Heaven Is. It's probably one of my favorite tracks off of that album. I love the music video. I always think of the music video for some of these songs. Like I can't help but to
I mean,
like
well,
think
yeah,
about that.
because like the music videos at the time, like, like they're iconic.
MTV. I mean,
I mean,
MTV picked them up like
MTV.
no tomorrow. But yeah, that's gonna sum up Heaven Is. So,
Mhm.
Desert Song. I'm very curious to hear about this.
I think you had said that when you went over it, it has like a very eerie vibe to it. Um, kind of like you said, like kind of creepy a little bit. Which I didn't really mind, because it's like, it kind of like, um in like comparison, it kind of like, it's like the Thriller song from Michael Jackson back in the day.
Hmm.
It's like very eerie and very creepy, but then it's like, it's kick ass. Um, it's like, I don't know. It's like some of these songs, like I have to like turn my brain off and like just close my eyes and just feel like, like nobody's in the room, which I mean there literally is nobody. Uh, and just try to like just turn my brain off and just be in the moment. You know. Um, I think Desert Song, like, it kind of just like you said, like had a very creepy, eerie vibe, but it's still like really fucking good. Which, what would that song would have been on? Like either Adrenalize or
It
Hysteria,
probably would have
right?
been. I'm thinking it probably would have been Adrenalize. Just because I could kind of tell it was recorded during those days.
Yeah.
Unlike Ride into the Sun, which probably would have been on Hysteria if they would have kept it like that.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
I said, obviously it came from the EP originally, but that's a
Yeah.
whole different version. But yeah, I think it could have really been on Adrenalize.
Mhm.
So,
Uh, I mean, it would have fit the vibe, to be
mhm.
honest with you, kind of.
Oh yeah. Number two. Number two. What do you have?
I put "Let's Get Rocked" here.
Wow.
Yes,
So I put two steps behind, which means once again we have the same number one. What the fuck? Stop copying me.
No, hey, hey, listen, listen, listen. So, if I may, I'm gonna tell you why I put "Let's Get Rocked" at number two here.
I'm glad you did, honestly.
I was gonna put it way lower on the list because I hear it a lot at my work, in the car, and every fucking where I go. Which, Joey Elliott, stop haunting me. Um, um, let's get right in the shop. But it's not a bad song, but it's super overplayed for me, and I think I feel like I would have let you down, and I would have let Def Leppard as a whole down if I put it way low. You would have been coming to my house and knock me out, and um, but I had to put it in the top five at this point because it was Heaven Is and Let's Get Rocked. I had just had to put the two. What was it? Two or three Adrenaline songs? It was two.
With two.
I had to put the two Adrenaline songs in the top five. I had to because there was no other options for me, at least, besides Two Steps Behind, to put it into the top five. Um, that being said, maybe if I probably didn't hear it a lot, I would have been okay, it gets top billing and stuff, but I hear it so fucking much. It drives me crazy sometimes. Um, but it's I just learned to come to it. And I'm okay, let's get right, so I agree with it. I agree with it. So I mean, why not?
Base
So
as it should be. So, two steps behind, this song has such a chokehold on me. It's always been one of my favorite Def Leppard songs, like for life. Like especially this version. I'm not crazy about the other version. I'm always all for the acoustic version.
mhm,
It just really pulls at your heartstrings. Like it kind of makes you fall in love, but also breaks your heart at the same time. It's like you can take this song in so many ways. You could take it in like the version of like falling in love, or you could take the song and run with it as like a heartbreak song. Basically, someone trying to leave you and you're trying to walk back after them. It can be taken in so many ways, and it's just such a good song. And I am forever going to be mad that it never made it to Eternalize. It really should have. It should have been on the main album. It fits, but again, I can see why they didn't put it on there because Adrenalize had quite a few ballads. They had
mhm,
Tonight, they had Stand Up, Kick Love into Motion, and they had Have You Ever Needed Someone So Bad. So I can see why they decided to leave it off because they didn't want it to be too ballad heavy. Um,
mhm.
but still, it's like my
Well, come
heart.
on.
That song has my heart forever. It's so good. I had to put it at number two. Which
Mhm.
leaves us with our number one. We both picked the lone Euphoria song with Paper Sun. And this is kind of coincidental because we just broke down Euphoria not too long ago. So this song is obviously still fresh in our minds. And I mean, Paper Sun, by all means, is probably one of the most slept on Def Leppard songs to date. And it's so, so good.
Yeah, it's like
It's spooky.
when we had the list, I when I wrote all the songs now, I was like, okay, well, I know where Paper Stone's going because
Number one.
I was like number one, yeah,
That's a
because I was like,
no-brainer.
yeah, because I was like I'm not gonna put it at number two, three, four, five, whatever. I'm like fucking one, whatever, duh. Like, um, man, like when you told me that this song was gonna like change my life and all that stuff,
It
it's like it
did.
did. Jinx. Um, it's like it's so good. And plus, it was like what 99.
99, a good year for music.
And this is like their comeback album. I put that in air quotes, but it's
Yes.
their comeback album, and it felt like like Def Leppard was like you've said before, like they were back, like they were back in a huge way. And good album to come back to too. Um, it's like I don't know. It's just like I said, like this. I think this song as a whole, I could probably say this for maybe both of us. I don't know, but it has like kind of like a tight grip on us, kind of.
It has that euphoric feel to it.
Yes.
It's kind of like a comfort album, and I always use this phrase every time we talk about music. A comfort album. This is one
Hmm.
of the few that really just brings me comfort. It brings me a sense of peace. It just makes me feel really, really good when I listen to it. I love the whole sound of it. It sounds like a late '90s album. It really does,
Yeah.
with the Def Leppard twist.
Oh God, don't even get me started on the damn haircuts at the time too.
Oh no, no! I did not like. That's the only thing I didn't like about that era of Def Leppard was the way they looked. Except for like
Little,
Phil. Phil looked okay, but like they looked like Duran Duran. It's oh god, so sorry, but man, that was
it could have been
awful.
confused for Duran Duran with probably never batted an eye.
No, seriously, like it was scary. I wasn't happy with it, but we've rambled on enough. That wraps up episode 5 of Def Leppard edition of Random Ranking. We hope you enjoyed. Where would you guys rank these songs on a top 10 scale? Let us know down in the comments or on social media, wherever y'all decide to choose. So, the next episode, I will not be here for it. It is a Deep Talks with Dystro episode. He will be going solo dolo. This is not the first time, of course, and it won't be the last time either. Um, I mean, hey, can't go wrong. Get a break from me. Rap, yap, yap about music.
Yeah, I get to be
All alone.
mm, all alone.
So that'll be this Thursday. You will not want to miss that. I also have tonight's song of the night. I honestly had a very hard time. I feel like lately I've had a hard time trying to pick a song of the night because there's just been so many groups that I've been trying to get into. For example, tonight, you and I just listened to Tom Petty. My local radio station was playing Full Moon Fever by Tom Petty in full from start to finish
Mhm.
as it hits its 35th anniversary this Wednesday on the 24th. Very, very good album. I have this album on CD. It's one of the few Tom Petty albums I actually have. And it's from his solo career. It's from when he took a break from the Heartbreakers. And it was just so good from head to toe. It was amazing. So I was like, I could have picked a song from that. I was like, let's not do that. I could have easily went with an Angels and Airwaves song because we're still doing our pilgrimage and we have 2 albums left to do. I was like, I already did Angels and Airwaves. I was like, I'm not gonna go with that either. So I went with my third option, which is a band that I have been heavily hooked on this past week. And I'm talking
Queens
about
of the
Queens of
Night.
the Stone Age. I am falling in love with this group heavily. Like I'm head over heels for this group. They are so
As you should.
so good. I'm gonna go with a track from the album called Era Vulgaris. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It came out in '07. I'm gonna go with Make It With You. Yes, I know it's pronounced very weird. Make It With You. That's
Make it with
literally
you.
that's literally how it's pronounced. That's literally how it's spelled. Wit and chew. Make it with
Oh,
you.
with you. With you.
Yes. There is a music video for this. I haven't seen it yet. Surprisingly, I haven't watched it
I'll
yet.
put it on the. I'll put it on the TV.
I already did. I already did. I'm
Oh,
way
okay,
ahead of you
good.
there. I went on a spree last night, like I've been doing the whole weekend. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
I love this group. So, Make It With You by Queens of the Stone Age. That is tonight's song of the night. It's a very, very laid back song. I really like it. So that's tonight's song of the night. If you guys want to take a listen, I will go ahead and put a link at the top right hand corner at the very end of the episode. Like I said, there is a music video. Go ahead, watch it, and enjoy it before I watch it because I haven't seen it yet. Um, so if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Go on ahead, follow us on social media by clicking on that link in the description below, which will take you to Linktree. We have Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and Twitter. Please be sure to follow us there to keep up to date with the show in case something goes wrong, can't upload, all that stuff. Also, Dystro's YouTube channel is there as well, where he uploads gaming content weekly and memes. Trying to get you to 1,400 by the beginning of June. What are you at right now?
I'm at 1,336. Wasn't
Okay.
It was not a huge jump, but I mean it's still kind of like
You're still
around.
moving.
It's still moving, yeah. But I'll be uploading something to the main channel and then to the pod channel. Uh, I guess either tomorrow for the pod. I'm thinking maybe.
Okay. We play a lot of games. We play Roblox, GTA.
Mhm.
We've been kind of hooked on murder mystery with our good friend Corey. If you guys remember from our older episodes, we've been playing a lot of that. Playing a lot of GTA. And he plays 2K games as well. I've been wanting to play, but it hasn't been working very well online. I don't know why. Um, 2K fans, if you know the struggle, it's so fucking real. So if you have not done so already, go on ahead and subscribe to Dystro's channel, please and thank you. Once again, listen to tonight's song of the night, Make It With You by Queens of the Stone Age. And that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. And Dystro, we'll see you guys Thursday. Peace.
Peace.